All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are going to break down Dr. Steve Peters' incredible model for understanding and managing, well, probably the most complicated thing on the planet, your own mind. Welcome to our explainer on the chimp paradox. So let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? Have you ever snapped at someone you care about and, like a second later, you're filled with regret? Or maybe you polished off an entire tub of ice cream when you absolutely swore you wouldn't. You know what the right thing to do is, but you do the complete opposite. Why does that happen?
Well, according to Dr. Peters, the reason for this constant inner battle is actually pretty wild. It's because it's not just you in your head. There are, for all practical purposes, two separate beings living in there, and they very often want completely different things.
Okay, so if one of those beings is the rational, logical you, who's the other one? It's about time we met the noisy roommate who's secretly been running the show.
This is your inner chimp. It's this incredibly powerful emotional machine that thinks and acts all on its own. Now, here's the most important part. The chimp isn't evil. It's not good or bad. It's just a chimp, and it runs purely on gut feelings, raw emotion, and deep-seated instinct.
And you can see on this slide just how totally different their ways of thinking are. I mean, look at this. Your chimp feels, it guesses. It sees the world in black and white, no gray areas. It leaps to the worst possible conclusion and can get super paranoid. Your human, on the other hand, that's the logical part of you. It wants facts, it understands nuance, it weighs evidence, and it always tries to see the bigger picture.
So, what's fueling all this emotional thinking? Well, here's the thing. Your chimp isn't living in our modern world. Its programming is ancient, based entirely on the laws of the jungle. It is all about survival, for itself and for the species. It's the source of your fight, flight, or freeze response, and it's driven by really primitive stuff like ego, protecting its turf, and being the dominant one. And look, this isn't just a fun theory. We have seen what happens when the human is, well, taken out of the picture. Back in the 1800s, a guy named Phineas Gage had this horrific accident where a huge iron rod shot right through his brain's frontal lobe, the part that is our human. Miraculously, he lived, but his personality, totally unrecognizable. The once calm, responsible man became aggressive, impulsive, and profane. With his human gone, his chimp was left in complete control. And all of this leads to what is, for me, the single most powerful takeaway from this entire model. You didn't choose to have this emotional, sometimes totally irrational chimp inside your head. You're not responsible for its nature. But, and this is a big but, you are responsible for learning how to manage it. See? That simple idea shifts everything, from self-blame to self-management. But wait, it's not just the chimp and the human battling it out. To really get the full picture, we have to bring in the third and final member of this little team in your head. So here's the whole system. You've got the human, that's the real you, the logical being trying to get by in modern society. Then you have the chimp, your emotional survival machine. And finally, you've got the computer. Just think of it like a hard drive. It doesn't think for itself. It just stores and runs programs, all the beliefs and habits that your human or your chimp has installed over your lifetime.
Okay, so now that we know all the players, let's get to the game plan. How in the world do you actually manage this incredibly powerful inner animal when it decides to go rogue? Here's the first step, and it's a game changer. You have to recognize when you've been hijacked. Dr. Peters gives us this one simple question to ask. When you feel a powerful, overwhelming emotion, like anxiety, anger, or panic, just stop and ask yourself, do I want to be feeling this way? If the honest answer is no, then that's your alarm bell. You've been hijacked. It's not you, it's the chimp. But why is it so hard to just stop it? Well, get this. Your emotional chimp is roughly 5 times stronger than your logical human. 5 times. Trying to overpower it with sheer willpower is like trying to arm wrestle an actual chimpanzee. You're gonna lose. The key is you can't control it, but you can manage it.
So instead of getting into a direct fight, Dr. Peters gives us 3 really clever strategies for dealing with your chimp. You can exercise it, you can box it, or you can feed it bananas.
Let's break those down real quick. First, exercise. This just means finding a safe space by yourself or with a friend you trust and letting your chimp vent. Just get it all out until it's tired. Second, box it. Once the chimp is calmed down a bit, your human can step in and counter its irrational fears with facts, truth, and logic. And finally, bananas. These are just quick fixes to pacify the chimp. Distractions like putting on music or a little reward to get it to cooperate.
You see, just understanding this model, it gives you the power back. It lets you stop being a passenger to your own emotions and start being the one who actually manages the driver. It gives you a choice. So the question isn't whether you have a chimp, because trust me, we all do. The real question is, who's going to be in charge?